All right, and welcome back to part 2 of solving one-step equations, or sometimes you'll see it called one-variable equations. And again, we're just writing right now, and we will solve them a little bit later. So example number 3. The junior varsity, or JV girls basketball team, scored a total of 112 points in the last 3 games. This is 17 points more than the combined number of points scored in the first 3 games. Write an addition equation to find the total number of points the JV girls scored in the first 3 games. All right, it's a little tricky. Let's read that again. The junior varsity girls basketball team scored a total of 112 points in the last 3 games. So last 3 games equals 112 points. This, when we say this, we're referring to what? The last 3 games. Is 17 points more than the combined number of points scored in the first 3 games. So you got the first 3 games and the last 3 games. And the 112 is more, 17 points more than the first 3 games. What's the question? Write an addition equation to find the total number of points scored in the first 3 games. All right, so the way I restated it was the 112 points is 17 more than the first 3 games. I don't know how many points they scored the first 3 games, so that's my variable. I'm going to use P to represent the points scored in the first 3 games. So my equation is the points scored in the last 3 games is 17 points more than the first 3 games. So I guess you could have wrote it. Well, you could have wrote the first 3 games plus 17 equals the points in the last 3 games. Either way is fine. Okay, so that's how we write. How do we solve? So to solve addition equations, we will use inverse operations. Inverse operations undo each other. So if I'm adding to undo, I must subtract, of course. All right, so I have x, some number x plus 2 is equal to 6. Sometimes you'll see these algebra tiles in your class. X plus 2 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The inverse of adding 2 would be to subtract 2, but I have to subtract 2 from both sides. So this is 0, 0, 0, 0. All I have left is 4. X equals 4. Well, we can't draw pictures all the time, so we have to show this mathematically. X plus 2, I'm going to subtract, equals 6. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. That 2 cancels out. Plus 2 minus 2 cancels out. X equals 4. The subtractive property of inequality says that if we subtract the same number from each side of an equation, the 2 sides, remains equal. So what we do to one side, we must do to the other side. We subtract from both sides. Okay. So let's use the subtraction property of equality to solve the following addition equations. What that means is we're going to be subtracting the same number from both sides. So the first problem, we have 9 minus 5 and 375 thousandths plus a. So why did I add the zeros? Because I have to subtract 5 and 375 thousandths from both sides. So I need zeros with my 9 to do that. And that would leave me 625 thousandths. Now notice, we're using everything you know, or should know. Subtracting decimals, subtracting fractions, whole numbers. Now all these things come together when we start working with equations and expressions. So number b plus 2 and 1/4 equals 9. The subtractive property says that subtraction property of equality says that if I subtract 2 1/4 from both sides, I maintain my equation. So I'm going to subtract 2 1/4 from both sides. I had to regroup, so that became 8 3/4. I'm sorry, 8 4/4. So 8 4/4 minus 2 1/4 gave me 6 3/4. And we're over 5 minutes, so we'll just come back and finish these in the next video.